Number 10 says find the inverse of f of x equals 3x minus 24 all to the fourth power. Determine whether it's a function and state its domain and range. So in order to start off, let's change it into y equals. And from there, what we need to do is switch the x and the y value for the inverse. So it's inverse. We're going to start off by making it x equals 3y minus 24 all to the fourth power. And now from there we got to solve for y. So we're going to take the fourth root of both sides. Let me switch colors for a second. So take the fourth root of both sides. Now when you take the fourth root, when you're inserting an even number root, you're going to get a positive and negative output. Just like when we were taking square roots, when we inserted into it, you're going to get a positive version and a negative version. Now on the left side, on the left side we have plus or minus the fourth root of x. The right side we're just left with 3y minus 24. Continue solving for y. We're going to add 24 to both sides. We get plus or minus the fourth root of x plus 24. Make sure that's outside of parentheses, equals 3y. Continuing on, we got to divide both sides by 3. That gives us plus or minus, I'm going to write this as 1/3 times the fourth root of x. And then 24 divided by 3 gives us just that plus 8 equals y. Now putting it back into that format that we've learned a while ago, I'm going to write this as f inverse of x equals 1/3, plus or minus the 1/3, so positive and negative 1/3 of the fourth root of x plus 8. Now it asks us, is this a function or not? This is not a function. One thing that you can use to identify whether something is a function or not is that plus or minus. If it has a plus or minus in it, it cannot be a function. That means we're going to get a positive or we're going to get two outputs depending on what we plug in. We're going to get two outputs from every x value. So that's going to have more than one output, which means it's not going to be a function. Now for domain and range, since we're taking an even number root and we want to get real outputs, you're not going to be able to take fourth roots of negative values of x. So x has to be greater than or equal to 0. If you plugged in a negative number like negative 16, you're going to get positive and negative 2i, which is going to make things messy. For your range, since this has both a plus and a minus, that means we're going to get an output going up and we're going to have an output going down. So it's going to go up forever and down forever, so it's going to be y as an element of the real numbers. All real numbers.